Alright. There we go. Wasn't ready for today. God, the last couple weeks I haven't been ready to stream. Like, the camera's not set. I didn't have the programs up. That's what was taking a minute there. Didn't have the mic plugged in. Like, I'm just on the ball today. But we're here. Start with an awesome fucking track, man. I'm stoked at this track. Coffee. Doesn't have chunks in it. I actually made a decent pot of coffee. So I think we're doing well. But let me turn this down, because even though it's badass and I love it, it might be getting in the way of my speech. So, hope folks are well. Usually, I try and start this with, howdy folks, I'm Cody with IronVerse Comics. This is Coffee, Cody, and
EX8
Comics.
said, no worries.
Yeah, none at all. This is a super casual, like, this isn't a job. This is barely a hobby. It's just something I like to do. So, I don't have to worry too much about being mega professional. But, you know, you gotta try. Hope folks are doing well this Tuesday, or whenever you're watching this. So not a ton to talk about, not like a ton of time to talk about it. Hopefully, likely this will be a shorter stream, but we'll see. Just a few things. The last subject in the title is going to be the one that could take the longest to discuss, because it's different for everybody, and it's can be very complicated. But the first two, not so hard at all. So I'll try and do what
EX8
okay.
said, what happened to the draw stream?
Didn't happen is what happened to it. I have not had the energy. I'm trying to get one stream a week, and that's what today is, right? I'd like to continue to do more, but I don't know. I've been, and for a few weeks, probably getting on to a month at least, been less enthused to jump into things. I've been trying to figure out what'll work for me for a breather is the best I can say, and I've been taking that breather, and it's been going all right. But I also picked up that other gig, and 3 out of 7 days, and sometimes 4 out of 7 days, like my day gigs, just kick my ass, just completely destroy it, and I don't know. There's a lot of juggling that needs to be going on, and we'll be talking about things for the finding peace in the storm part of this, because that's kind of what I've been doing is the best way. Red bag.
EX8 said, what's under the red bag?
Red bag. Red bag. Do I have a red bag? I'd love to answer that, but this is a red bag. I don't know what red bag you're talking about, brother. I wish I did. I'd answer you. As far as I'm aware, there is no red bag, but that's as far as I'm aware. I'm not always the most aware individual, so if I'm missing it, I do apologize. But let's do the first part, the fun part. And then we'll go into updates, which there aren't very many. There's a few though. Which is cool. And go from there. So, let me see. Let's just make sure everything's like titled correctly, just in case I made the red bag. I think. No, I didn't. No, I don't. You've got me with the red bag question. You got me. I have no idea. Alright, so I spoke last week, been doing a lot of reading, trying to figure things out, find the path I want to take next. There's quite a few angles to that. Quite a few, and I'm still trying to find like what'll work, 'cause sorry about that. The music there was heard twice. The other playlist went on. It's good to be back. It's a mess, but it's good to be back. Alright. This is what I've been quote unquote studying the last week. Golgo
EX8
13
said, no worries.
I was told by a
EX8
comic reviewer I
said,
appreciate.
I just woke up and just shooting from the hips.
That'll work. I was told to check out Golgo 13 from a comic reviewer buddy. I really appreciate called Elizbar. He sometimes shows up in chat. Definitely check out his channel. To check this out. And so I tried the movie, and like it didn't go for me. The anime movie, couldn't get like about 7 minutes into it. It just was not timing. A lot of media needs to hit me at the right time for me to jump on it. And so eventually I was like, okay. The mangaka Taikao Saito, he passed last year before. I think it was last year, early in the year. And apparently he was a very interesting cat. But folks who don't know, Golgo 13, it's a lot of people say it's Japanese James Bond. It's not, because it has a lot of James Bond influence. But like, instead of being suave and serving his country and all that, he is a assassin for hire. He is the assassin for hire. He is the top assassin on the planet, particularly with firearms. He is quite possibly the best firearms expert on the planet. Top sniper, all that fun stuff. So I was like, okay. I mean, situationally, it's kind of basic action movie, kind of fair, at least is what I thought. But then I dove into it. And it's how this mangaka structures his stories, where Golgo 13 tends to barely be in them, except for being hired. He sets up plots, he sets up unique situations, usually dealing with political intrigue or some such. And then Golgo's hired to solve that problem, and usually it's got some crazy shot he's got to make, or some weird timing, or they're trying to find the specific person at a certain time. Just weird situations for the assassinations. And the writing carries it so very well. Like, the only real repeat character is Golgo, and again, like I was saying, he is not usually the protagonist of the story. He's usually just a plot device, a very cool plot device. Very well done. He's like the chillest in terms of, like, he is cold. He is one of the coldest characters I've come across in fiction. Just like no emotion, no like investment in what he's doing. It's really well portrayed. Like, James Bond's suave and he has fear and all that. Golgo doesn't get scared. Golgo doesn't get hyped. He doesn't like he hires prostitutes. He doesn't like seduce anybody. So the sex scenes that are like James Bond sex scenes a lot of the time, it's just because he paid somebody. It's a trip. It really is. But it carries itself so well. In fact, the most gripping comic I may have read this year, and I've read a lot of manga in just last month in particular. Probably up to about 200 volumes of manga this month. I've just been tearing through it, trying to find a pathway and a rhythm that I like, and trying to understand why I like these pathways and rhythms. And Golgo was, again, it found me at the right time eventually. My favorite of those, so I've read 4 volumes so far. I started the 5th, and I have 3 more to read. So I've read the 4 here. My favorite was from volume 10 of this Viz Signature series. Golgo went on for like 45 years or something. This mangaka put these out before he passed. And God, I would say maybe 10% has ever been printed in English. And this is about the 10%. The first 6 volumes are not so easy to get a hold of. But the last 7 or so you can still get for like $8, which is nice. But my favorite by far is this Wasteland. And it's the first story in this. Most of these have 1 to 2 actual like story arcs in the volume, so you get a lot of content. In terms of like, there's a lot of story per arc that's in here, which is nice. Instead of like One Piece is a lot of story, but it's broken up into tiny, like, I don't know, up to 12-page chapters. This is, chapters can go 30, 40, 60 pages, 70 pages, right? 150 pages in some cases. So you get a meaty story. But my favorite was having to do with an assassination at a nuclear power plant opening. And most of the story, like 95% of the story, was about this character who just wanted to make sure that, like, he tried to let the bureaucratic end of he was the engineer, the head engineer and the safety guy. He was trying to get the bureaucratic guys to just, like, slow the fuck down. We don't need to open this right now. We shouldn't. There's plenty of problems that we need to go look at. And then the bureaucratic guy was just like, oh, there's plenty of safety procedures and all that. And, howdy, Genuine Comment. And, of course, things go wrong on the opening day, and it's almost another Chernobyl right
Genuine
outside
Comics
of Los Angeles.
Said, hello, Cody.
Howdy, howdy. And so it's just the tension he built up in it to do with this nuclear accident that's just growing and growing. And then the ending scene with Golgo, where they convince him to make a shot that no one else could. Within the nuclear reactor to help vent it, because it's just all their safety protocols go wrong. I don't know. It's a very stock standard kind of plot, but most of his stuff are very stock standard political intrigue plots.
Genuine Comics said, beep beep BOLP beep.
Exactly. And the skill in which he weaves your interest into these stock standard political intrigue or other plots, mostly political intrigue. There's sometimes to do with criminal intrigue, because he works for anybody. That's the other difference between him and James Bond. Mob can hire him to kill another mobster. That happened in a few things like that. But I couldn't put it down, the nuclear one. And that's the first time a comic, like, I was getting pissed that I couldn't put it down. Because I had to go somewhere. And first time in a long time, any form of comic, I haven't been able to say, okay, I can take a break. And just be okay with it and come back later. That one pissed me off, and I had about 10 pages left or something. I couldn't finish it at that time. It really bothered me because it was so well done. And then the other thing he does really well, all his characters look unique. He doesn't have same face syndrome. Some of them get a little ridiculous, but he definitely doesn't have same face syndrome. The action's very clean and smooth. But let me find a great example. He is a master, and this is every time. It's never not been true. Of the opening shot. That's like all he obviously spent tons of time on the setup opening shots, the establishing shots. He is a pro at establishing shots. He took 2 panels, made it a double page spread that's 2 panels of just so you can communicate a car driving up. Tons of detail just to set up this car pulling in. That's an example. I don't know if it's the best example. He's really great at architecture and cities. This one was great. Called Telepath. Sometimes it gets into that weird stuff. But this was my first experience with it, which was great. Because it is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11 pages, 12 technically, because it ends with a double page spread. 12 pages of just action. There's no dialogue, no nothing. It's just perfect setup. It's someone trying to assassinate somebody. Pretty quick and easy. You understand that real quick. Communicates it beautifully. Very well paced. The woman escorting him notices it all of a sudden, like she knows he's there, and he tries to take a shot. She moves him out of the way. So you already know something's weird. Like she's aware of things outside of like what she should be able to. And so the first assassination attempt doesn't work. Then there's a second. There was a backup attempt, right? That's supposed to happen in a crowd, and she notices him and just takes him out and gives him a heart attack with her mind. And it doesn't say that or anything. It's just communicated. It's just communicated, just straight picture book style. And then they're tailed, and she takes out the drivers with a heart attack as well. And that was our whole setup. Beautiful crash. And then you can tell that the guy's like freaked out by her. And as a reader, you would be too. And then it gets to the folks talking about how these assassinations failed. But again, those establishing shots he does, just heavy inks, gorgeous. Allegedly, he used his cigarette as a smudge for a lot of these. Part of the mangaka's kind of idiosyncrasies. And so then we're introduced to Golgo getting hired to do it because he's the world's best. He shouldn't be able to fail. And he fails because she notices him, but only right before he's about to pull the trigger. Before that, he was completely like psychically deaf. He's super zen, and that goes into something. And so then he's been beat, and so he's got to go and for his reputation, he either needs to pull off the assassination anyway, or he refunds them, and then he's going to go pull off the assassination anyway, because it's no good for his business. It's again, his city shots, his establishing shots are crazy good. I don't know if you're into like more it's my favorite grounded comic I've read since Punisher Max, and in some ways I prefer Golgo. It's always one single headshot too. Usually, I mean, there's one scene where he's ambushed at a hotel, and he gets all of them with one headshot, but a couple other people get in the crossfire. Okay, so it doesn't overdo the gore like Punisher Max, but it still has that adult gritty edge to it. I can see why it lasted for nearly 50 years as Japan's like #1 spy story. He's not a spy. He's not out to get information. He's a killer. He's an assassin. But it's definitely was their swing at James Bond. And to be honest, I kind of prefer it.
Cool hair.
Talk about me or Golgo? If you talk about me, I appreciate it. And talking about Golgo, I agree. It's a very unique design. He stands out quite a bit. But I appreciate that. Thank you. I don't know if I've seen you around here, but I appreciate you stopping by and saying howdy. We were talking some manga. We talk comics here. Sometimes we do gameplay. I know you're coming from Twitch, so I'm just having coffee, rambling about comics, and we're going to update on my own comic book work, and then we'll talk about some more, I guess you can call it mental health stuff. And light mental health stuff, good, enlightening, hopefully, what would be the word, invigorating mental health stuff. But yeah, I definitely recommend if you come across this in English.
Amir Hanklb.
You check it out.
Said, dude, your neighbors must be hate you with that stereo.
Oh, I'm very lucky. I've got plenty of space between houses. But do they hate me? I don't think so. But yeah, like I do blast music at this place quite a bit. So I've never gotten complaints. I'm surrounded by fences, and there's a good few hundred feet between houses, so it's not too bad, but you aren't wrong that maybe I push it sometimes. I wouldn't be surprised. I would not be surprised. Thank you. The first bit of art I ever did, I was a metal bassist, so loud music is one of my centers. And that's how that ended up back there. It also works for this is my gaming setup as well. So it's nice to have big punchy. There's also a few speakers in front here alongside the subwoofer and such. I enjoy my music quite a bit. My loud noises when they're pleasant and powerful, loud noises. Okay then. Updates. Let me go ahead and do that now. We'll go to that part because yeah, I gotta get to it. Few updates. So we'll go with an exclusive page reveal for the Recluse, and then we'll go to. Did I not like a goofball? I don't think I did. Uno momento, por favor, amigos. Let me go. Not there, not there, not there. It's from a few days ago, so it might take me a second to find something. I just want it ready so I'm not finding something in between the things that we're doing. Oh, come on now. Okay, well, then I'm going to have to just look through the timeline, then that's fun. I'm usually better. There we go. Perfecto. That was actually way easier to find through the timeline. All right, so we're ready. So, we've been getting, I didn't expect, but the pages from The Recluse, our latest series from IronVerse Comics, which is kind of a post-apocalyptic Robin Hood story. The pages that we got in are getting colored, and they're being done very, very well. So let's go ahead and share those. Oh, now let's go with the chiller playlist for this while we're chatting. There we go. So yeah, these are coming in. The Recluse is coming with Jack Iron Steel Cowboy issue number 4. Pre-orders are still live on Indiegogo if you folks are interested. Check that on out. I guess I'll throw the link into chat because I can and I wants to. Snag issues 1 through 4. You'll be getting this as well, which is the Recluse 5-page preview and the Cactus Coyote 15-page ash can. So you're getting about 5 comics for the price of 4, or 3 comics for the price of 1, depending on which perk you choose. But as the newest page that came in, if you had read issue number 2 of Jack Iron Steel Cowboy, this will make a lot more sense. But we're still on kind of the setup, but the colors are coming out gorgeous. Very impressed and very grateful to work with this the third team. Very cool stuff. Very, very, very cool stuff. And then last but not least well, I think we'll also watch my really cruddy trailer I did recently. But we also started on the sketch cards. So I need to catch up with Mrs. H. I think she's done all of the sketch cards that are currently have been requested for the campaign. So I need to catch up because each one of these I also need to do one. So I will do that soon. But I'm so happy these have come out great. It's going to be a lot of fun when I get to them. And she's ahead and I need to catch up. But they're being done and I'm so dang grateful. It was a very crazy ass crowdfunding campaign. If you look, last day we got most of our funding, which doesn't usually happen for folks. There's that. Super stoked, and then I guess we'll watch this because it was a what I'd call it was a test run of something I wanted to try. So we'll watch this. And you folks can let me know your thoughts on it. I'm unsure if the voice is creepy or if it works. So yeah, okay, let's do it.
Jack Irons, a neo-Western Americana folktale, finds a reincarnated immortal facing the manifestations of our universal vices, known as the Four Horsemen. Using ancient wisdom and unnatural abilities, he faces the collective machinations and corrupt authorities that seek to change reality into their own twisted paradise. Available now from IronVerse Comics. When reality belongs to evil, heroes are inevitable.
Alright, so that's about 42 seconds. It's not a bad little promo piece. Yeah, I'm very unsure about. I like the voice. And, it made me smile when I tweaked it and actually did the trailer with it. I wasn't sure I was gonna. So I don't know. It made me happy, but I don't know if it actually works or sounds more creepy. It's just me, right? But it's slowed down 8%. And oh god, what was the other bit? I applied a deepening filter to it. Um, so yeah, I don't know. I like it. It's definitely. I don't see anybody else try that for indie comics promotion, at least. So I don't know. Always trying new things. I got to use a couple of the new animations we got into from the wonderful Mrs. H. If you saw her sketch card, she's also our wonderful in-house animator for us, which is very very cool. But yeah, that's kind of the updates that have occurred. I wish I could show you new pages from Jack 4. If you want to see any other of these pages, yeah, it's going to turn off again. Oh well. Um, Everything's up on Patreon. This is these 2 full page previews is Patreon exclusive. Of course, the trailer ended up on there. My last live stream, print everything. This is the last interview I did, which it was a good interview. Like, I really liked the panel, but there's a panel.
And we're live. Another episode of the Treehouse Live.
So there was a panel, and yeah, he named it after me. I tried not to. I don't like taking over streams. So hopefully I didn't, but it's how it goes. Page 7 and 8 were the last 2 page previews. It was the first of the 4 arcs with micro arcs, I guess you can call them, within issue number 4. So yeah, if you want to stay up to date with production and such as we continue it, I very much recommend throwing $1 to us on Patreon. It means the world. It's how I can keep our website up with all our links, fan art gallery, all that fun stuff, and it helps me out. It helps me with my internet bill and this. That's basically what the Patreon does, and it really does mean the world. But yeah, that kind of covers it for the updates. Let me see. Skip track. Kind of like this one. Let's go with this one. So other than that, folks, we can dive onto the more esoteric subject of today, which is finding peace in the storm. Which has been why I haven't been streaming so much for the last month. Again, I've been trying to hit at least 1 stream a week, and I think I've succeeded, if you count that panel I did that week, because I didn't actually stream here that week. I just streamed on that appearance there. Also, Patreon, if you just follow us on there, just follow. You don't even have to give $1. You'll get all the updates straight up. So if you don't want to miss a live stream I appear on, or anything like that, best place to go. Most of our updates are free. It's just page previews and other kind of access to the animations raw, all of that kind of stuff. That's $1 more a month. Basically, if you just put in that $1, you get access to everything. And again, makes a major difference. Anywho, finding peace in the storm. So I've noticed, and it's kind of been consistent. The last few years have been very hard for everybody for a lot of different reasons. These things I've noticed, whether it's for this is very Steve I. There's things I've noticed mood-wise for some people. Because the weight of the insanity of the global situation is being crammed down people's throats. In fact, it's the first time in history. Well, not the first time, but it's probably one of the. To be fair, I think it is the first time that the power structures have been able to directly communicate and influence the populace at this level consistently 24/7, 365, right? Where they've been able to bombard people with this consistently. We've had other situations very similar to these, but people could still more so choose to engage with it, and they would choose to engage to it because they had an interest in it, not so much because they were, strong-armed into it. And so I've seen that take a toll on like everybody. Skip track. This was our intro track. I heard it already. Skip track? Maestro's not going to skip track for me. I have to skip track. Fine. No, too heavy. Let's go with this one. I know it weighed on me. Many of us, as always, as that hasn't changed. But it's hard to tell because the data is very skewed because of our universal access to each other. We've lost loved ones for many different reasons. We've lost businesses, we've lost jobs, we've lost homes. We've lost foundational things to being able to cope with reality. And we ignore the mental health crisis that's going on for everybody. So, many people, myself included, find peace in different ways. For me, again, it's been kind of diving into the work. It's been reading and exploring the human imagination. And not only the human imagination, but the ability to dedicate oneself to manifesting it in a shareable form, what we call entertainment or media, right? That's been a big one. It's an escape form, right? For a lot of folks. Totally get that. For me, since it's what I do...
EX8 said, mental health is BS. All you need to do is go to the gym and eat right.
I disagree very highly. Can that exceedingly help? Yes. And I'm glad that works for you. But I don't think you can speak for everybody. I'm glad that works for you. I've heard it work for many others, but also it can be an excuse to bury it until it festers and you do something else. But it's not, again,
EX8
everybody's gonna be different.
Said, humans have legs for a reason not to sit down.
Yeah, no, I know, brother. That doesn't change that many people have genuine depression from losing family members, from losing their jobs, from losing their homes, losing friends. Like that's going to the gym and eating right does not solve that. Time doesn't even solve that. It's finding peace and finding an example. And I'm glad that gym and eating right works for you, and again can work for many others. I wouldn't discourage that at all. I would suggest everyone try that to see if it would work for them, because it'll be exceedingly healthy if you're not already doing that. But that's not exactly what I'm talking about, and calling it all bullshit is definitely not what I'm talking about. So anywho, you have to find a path or a, in his case, it was a gym, find a path or an outlet to do it, to find this peace. Some people it's movement, others it is expression, others it is some very cruddy examples, right? To go the opposite direction, people will overeat, people will stagnate, if that's what you want to talk about. Like, those are manifestations that could be solved by making that choice that for you may be easy, for others may not be. And even then, that might only help somewhat. Again, it doesn't solve greater issues. It solves maintenance and physical body issues, which again can be a very massive underlying cause, but isn't something that again solves these things that are unsolvable. And we're trying to find peace with those things, not so much solve issues. I mean, I walk up to 20 miles a week. I play and run with dogs. That's my job. Like, if I didn't have that, I would go nuts. So again, I get it. But like, again, there's it's not that simple for everybody. For me, like, that stops me from being in the worst possible place, but it doesn't stop me from being in a bad place. Right? That's the bit. For me, it's taking care of my work. It's taking care of my animals. It's having responsibility and duty. It's having creative outlets. And I just hope most folks can find those for themselves. But I vehemently disagree that it is bullshit. Some people, it's therapy. I think that can be very much manipulative and bullshit. Not always. Like, just having a person to talk to can be very important for some people. And if that's something they're doing and they're doing well, and they're not trying to over-medicate you or whatever, that's fine. But again, there's no right answer for this. And that was part of this finding peace bit, is I'm just expressing that folks need to chill the fuck out and stop stressing so much and just find something that can help give some kind of guiding star. Again, you spoke physical fitness. I'm glad that works for you. Others, again, it might not work for them. Whether it's from a disability that doesn't allow them to, or maybe they just don't want to do that. So being able to find something else is good. I'm not saying it's right to make a choice not to be healthy, but it is a choice, and I very much have freedom of choice. I just wish that we hadn't called it bullshit right away, and then now I have to counter an argument the entire time instead of just express what I wanted to. But it is what it is. I'm filling myself full of caffeine. That's not healthy, but it's the only way I could be here. Drugs are a major problem as well. And if that's the peace you're finding in the storm, it will kill you. Yeah. I'm not going to say everything's going to be all right, but you need to have some kind of concept of, even if things aren't all right, I can be all right myself. And that's the point. So I hope that works. I'm going to go ahead and sign out because basically I don't have much else to say there.
EX8 said, I guess everyone is different, I guess. But this struggle is not unique to our generation. It's always been around.
Not true. Social media has only been around for about, at best, the last 30 years. At best. That has not always been around. We have not always been able to bombard each other with hate, anger, sometimes love, sometimes stalking, sometimes violence occurring across the world. Like, that has not been there omnipresent with how we interact with each other every time we open something to communicate with each other, right? The phone in the pocket hasn't been with us for very long. That is unique to our generations. That, like, you can go back to the radio, and the radio wasn't everywhere, right? Television was the first, like, bit where they were able to bombard you in your home, visually as well as audio, right? It's only been a couple
Matthew D. Reese
couple hundred years
said, what up?
That we,
EX8
even been sending that.
Said, maybe disconnect from internet.
Yeah. Here's the thing, though. I'm not talking about just me, man. That was the bit. I've been disconnecting from the internet. It's why I haven't been streaming. You seem to be a guy who has a solution for every problem, and that's great, but not helpful with my goal currently. I'm not looking to provide anybody a solution. I'm looking to discuss a topic. That being said, it's fine. Howdy, Matt. I'm just about to sign out. I gotta go, and the conversation's kind of gone a direction I didn't want it to. So I'm gonna head out. But you folks take care. Thanks for stopping by, Matt. I really do appreciate it. Good to see you.
Matthew D. Reese said, radio was pretty close to everywhere. That's how generations began to define themselves by music styles. ES8 said, alright.
Yep. Yeah, and music is a wonderful outlet as well. But the bit was more of this ubiquitous sense of propaganda, control, communication, 24/7, literally at your hip most of the time, with a shocking beep or vibration to drag your attention from whatever you were doing. It's a very unique thing that hasn't been there too long. The phone, right? That's been around for a while, but in human history, it's a blink. But anyway, again, I'm out of here because apparently I can't hold a positive conversation on something I really wanted to be positive. So take care, folks. See you later.
Matthew D. Reese said,